Hello, everybody. Brian Logan alongside Ben Garrett. I am at the Alumni Association in the Westin here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Ben Garrett is somewhere, I guess, in the Jackson Airport.
Yeah, look, hey, I'm in the Jackson Airport. Our flight got delayed to 8:13. But look, Brad, Ole Miss fans found the bar. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Ole Miss fans found a bar, bro. So, I'm about to go in there with them here in a second. How are you?
We're doing good. Had a good flight. Everywhere we came out of Memphis was wide open. I mean, everywhere we saw, there were hottie toddies on the airplane. There were hottie toddies in the airport. Like I told you, I went through the line, and the place where they checked the IDs, it was all Ole Miss. And the lady said, my goodness, I've never seen this many Ole Miss fans and this much Ole Miss stuff going on in one place. It is absolutely incredible.
It really is, and it's the same thing here at the Jackson Airport. I've already met this cat right here, took a picture. A bunch of people walked up and said they loved the show, so we very much appreciate that. The Jackson Airport actually set up, it's way down there now, but they set up like a really cool like little celebration for Ole Miss fans. And I got here a little earlier than anticipated. The man walking through security, people were so excited, bro. And all the security people are like, oh, let me guess, you're here for the game. And that's been quite literally pretty much everybody's walked through these doors for the last 3 hours. So it's expected to be a completely full flight. That's what the lady said. She was trying to find some people that would check some bags, And I can say that, a direct flight from Jackson, Mississippi to Phoenix. How we doing? Hey, friend.
Brandon Mason coming to
I say it's Brandon. It's Brandon Mason
Westin,
to take it to the Grove.
Arizona. That is the Ben Garrett. This is my man, Brad.
That's it.
We're getting stuff done in here.
Here's the only problem. Y'all keeping me from the bar. Look at that. Look at the bar. Bar looks good.
Got stuff to do. Get it this trip.
It's good to see you.
Brandon Mason, take it to the Grove.
Man, people been coming up left and right saying, where's Ben? Where's Ben? Like, he's on his way. He's
on the way
between Jackson and here. But you see a lot of the names that are rolling through the screen. Built Different Fitness. That guy was pretty built. He's been going to Built Different Fitness on West Jackson Avenue. You can go there today, and there's got a lot of special deals. It's West Jackson Avenue, Built Different Fitness, a proud sponsor, just like many sponsors here on the Ben and Brad Show. We'll have a live show tomorrow. It's absolutely stacked. Everybody's asked me about it. They can't wait. Ole Miss Alumni Association is sold out. There may be a handful of tickets that open up. Just go to OleMissAlumni.com and join everybody. It's going to be at the Hermitage. That is due west of State Farm Stadium, Ben, and that's where we will be. We'll get set up around 12 tomorrow. But, Ben, before you have to catch your airplane, tell me kind of your overall thoughts of what people are saying that you're running to in the crowd.
Cautious optimism, to which I say I'm no longer cautiously optimistic. I said if they beat Georgia, I'm picking them all the way through, so we're going to say it with our chest now. I think Ole Miss is going to beat Miami tomorrow. It's going to be a hell of a football game. Their front really presents a number of challenges, but the vibes are too good right now for me. It's been wild to like hang out and see people here at the airport, like my friend Walker. Hey, look, say hey to Brad. That's Walker.
How we doing?
He was the first one he recognized. Like he was going to come to Manning's, Brad. He said he was going to come. Why didn't you come though?
Y'all were too big time.
He said we're too big time. Too busy.
Hey, but there's no too big time tomorrow. I'm there.
No,
I'm
he's
there.
there. At the Alumni Association. And I talked to Jerome Poe, and he said he's coming too. So he said he's stopping by. Ben Mintz said he's stopping by.
Jeff Robinson said he's coming by.
Oh, I would sure as heck hope so. I would be mad at him if he didn't. But, I just think the vibes are good, and everybody's riding that wave and having a good time. And, I just don't see how Ole Miss isn't about to take over the stadium. I was talking to someone that's whose wife is in the administration that's down here, and he said straight up that, there's going to be at least 30,000 Ole Miss fans in Phoenix, and I don't doubt that one bit.
That was my next question. I think that the numbers I heard around here were 20, and so that was a number that people have been throwing around. But it wouldn't surprise me, as many people as I've seen, that it could be an upwards of 25, 30,000.
Thank you. Sorry, a nice gentleman going back to the bar from the bathroom said, "My wife loves you." So I had to say thank you. That's not, you don't get that kind of compliment very often. My wife loves you.
Like Mason told me, Brian called us from Allen Samuels when we were talking a little business, and he said, man, I come home and my wife had you and Ben on the 75-inch big screen. These nice folks behind me just walked up and said, I never watched YouTube until you and Ben came into my life.
Oh, what? I love that. Well, I'm glad that they're that they're with us and that we get to go on this journey together. A lot of people come up to me and mention how they're just excited to see me going to the game, which speaks to the generosity and just the incredible response from Ole Miss fans that I did not ask for, but because Ole Miss's community, his family is hashtag different, they took care of me, and we hope to take care of y'all too. So definitely come to that tomorrow. It's 2 to 4:30 Mountain Time, right beside the stadium. You'll find us. It's sold out. And Drell Poe's going to be there to hang out. Ben Missy going to be there to hang out. He says, but Missy sometimes can get a little lost on himself. So we'll see. We have some great guests lined up, and I'm just really excited to get down there. I hate that it's already been delayed, but I kind of figured that with the fog this morning. But nothing can dampen the spirits here. It is Ole Miss loaded in Jackson, Mississippi. Like absolutely. So I mean, who else? Who else is going to be getting on a direct flight from Jackson, Mississippi to Phoenix on a Wednesday night? All these Ole Miss fans, all of them. Look at them, all of them.
I've never
the
been
bar.
to Jackson Airport.
I ain't either. It's awesome, actually. Like I love how quaint and like it's right off the highway. You just drive off and get there. It's great. It's wonderful. I want to touch on something. You saw where there's been some news today. A co-DC. I don't know if they've announced the title yet, but a co-DC has been announced. I know. I'm talking. Oh, she's wanting to know this nice air attendant wants to know the news. What is the Ole Miss?
John
We're talking live.
Okay.
John Lynch says, say hey to John. Say hey.
John.
Say, John, what's your name?
With Holly.
Holly, this
what's
is an
the
Ole
news?
Miss show.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
And we're just talking about Ole Miss sports right now.
Freezing in
okay.
Arizona.
Yeah, and I know. I wanted to see the news
Holly just
about Ole
wanted to
Miss
say hey
sports.
to everybody. She just wanted
I
to
wanted
say.
to see hear the news about Ole Miss sports.
Yes, they just got a co-DC. Did you see this, Brad?
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
co-DC.
Defensive coordinator, co-defensive
Oh,
coordinator.
Real quick, John
okay.
Lynch wants to
All
say
right.
hello.
Bye-bye.
Ben,
Say-
John Lynch. You remember
Say
from
what?
New Orleans?
John Lynch from New Orleans.
Yes, I remember John. Hey,
You
John,
remember
how are you?
Prediction about Trinidad doing something special at the end to
You
win the
did.
game?
Yes, I do. You nailed it.
Same thing.
Twice.
Oh, hey, we're
Twice.
doing it again.
Run it again.
Good.
Run it back.
38-27. I like
Run
that
it back.
score.
Well, Holly
like-
was excited. I mean, did you want to touch on this co-DC news? Do you want to tell the people what's going
Go
on?
ahead.
No, you go ahead. You started off. Lay it out for me.
Well, were you surprised by that? By the
No.
decision to hire the co-DC?
No, I wasn't. Well, I don't know what the official title is because Brian Brown's not going to give up a co-DC title. But if you've been reading the Ole Miss Spirit since December 13th-ish, this is something you weren't surprised about. And what we're specifically talking about is Patrick Toney from the Arizona Cardinals. The NFL seasons are over. He was the former Florida DC safeties coach for the Arizona Cardinals this year. The last real defensive hire they had to make. They had to hire one more. He pairs with, theoretically, he pairs with Brian Brown to be the co-DC. Wes Neighbors coaches safeties and B. Brown, or vice versa, B. Brown coaches corners. So I bet you'll see where, because Pete Golden was the linebackers coach too. So Patrick Toney takes over probably those responsibilities as well. But we've been telling you about that possibility for about a month now at the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com, 313. That QR code that's above my head, if you scan it and you join the Ole Miss Spirit today, as long as Ole Miss is in the college football playoff, you get 50% off an annual sub. So hit up that QR code because that's something that you would not have been surprised by. It makes a lot of sense. So because it's not like you need Brian Brown and Brian Brown is the defense coordinator, but so it's like structurally you just needed the best hire familiarity, and this checks a lot of boxes. I think ideally he would have preferred to go Ron Roberts to start, but Patrick Toney's a great place to land for sure. And now you're just waiting, if you're an Ole Miss fan, for tight ends coach, which could come from a number of different places. And look, Ben Craddock's here. You been talking to Ben Craddock? Ben Craddock, come here. Come here.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
We want to thank Jones Merchant Services and Advanced
Look,
Placements.
hey, say Ben Craddock's here. Say, hey, Ben.
What's up, Brad?
Hey, all right. So give me a score prediction for tomorrow.
41-0 us.
41-0.
A lot of
41.
Belt to the ass.
Belt
Can
to
I
the-
say that? Can I
Yep.
say that?
Dude, do you know how I talk? Come on. Good seeing you. That was fun. But yeah, it's fun right here in Jackson, man. I've never been to this airport. It's all Ole Miss people hanging out on a Wednesday night, ready to go to Phoenix, man. So ready to get down there, ready to get like my buddy Poopy Dukes on my site, the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com. He sent me $20 to get a beer before the flight because he knows I don't like flying. So I'm about to take him up on that here in about 5 minutes.
Give
about 5 minutes.
Jones Merchant Services Advanced Placements a call today, 662-416-5262, or online at advancedhq.com.
That's me. Hey, we got another friend here. You want to meet another friend, Brad? Hey, all right. Tell the people who you are. I got to get a beer too. Tell the people who you are.
Mark Presley,
Mark Presley. This is Mark Presley. Mark, give me a score prediction for tomorrow.
38-21 Reds.
38-21 Reds. Are we in the echo chamber again, or is it just all vibes?
I think
it's all
we
vibes.
might be.
I think it's all vibes.
Yeah.
We're riding good vibes. All right, and then who they meeting in the national championship game then? Indiana. We've been calling that too. You know, Eli called that before the whole playoffs even started. He said Indiana, Ole Miss, and dang it if he isn't pressing it after about. I know, right? Hey, thank you for joining on my show randomly. Thank you, buddy. There you go. We just got Ole Miss fans everywhere, bro. It's really
All
exciting.
right, Ben,
but
we've got another special guest. Now tell me who we are.
I'm Paulette White from Madison, Mississippi.
All right, Miss Paulette, come that way. There
Hey,
we
Miss
go.
Paulette.
All right, Miss Paulette. Ben says hi. He's in Jackson.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, how we doing? I'm sweating. It's too hot in this airport.
All right, Miss Paulette, tell me what the score is going to be.
Oh, it's going to be close, but it's going to be, I would say, 27-25.
Oh,
Wow, 27-25, man.
Would that be scoregami? I like that pick. I like that.
Does the red team win?
The red team wins unless it's mine.
Okay, that's the match.
That's orange. That's not red.
Yeah.
All right, tell me where you're from.
Madison, Mississippi.
Did you drive or fly?
I flew.
Out of the great city of Jackson?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's where Ben is at Medgar Evers International Airport. So he's on his way here. We'll be at the Ole Miss Alumni Association tomorrow. Thanks for coming by. Good luck.
Thank you
Safe
for
traffic.
having me.
All right.
Howdy, Tom.
All right. It's good to see you.
Fun time. It's fun vibes, man.
Prediction? Okay. No prediction there. All right.
Hey, you look like you're a busy man. I'm going to go get this. I'll see you in Phoenix just very shortly. One more look at this crowded airport. It's all the way down there. Full, it's just full everywhere, man, especially at the bar, which is a very Ole Miss thing. So vibes are high, man, and everybody's picking the ribs. And someone was telling me, he's like, I'm cautiously optimistic. I said, I'm not cautiously no more. Vibes are too good. So unless, I'm going to ride this horse till it bucks me at this point. The only time they've let you down is at Georgia. It's a single possession loss at their place. So I think they're about to make a statement tomorrow.
All right, Ben, safe travels. We'll take you from
All right,
here.
buddy.
See you tomorrow. All right, that's been Garrett. He is live on location in Medgar Evers Airport. He's, of course, in Jackson, Mississippi. So many people we want to thank. Alan Samuels, Chrysler Dodge, Jeep and Ram. Go to AlanSamuelsOxford.com. Call them today, 662-234-8000. And we're going to have more from you. I'm going to leave the screen open just for a minute. I've got to go talk to somebody. We'll be back in just a second. Yeah, here we go. All right. Now, tell me who we're talking to here today. Hold on, let me get the screen right. There we go. Somebody from Calhoun City, Mississippi here.
Yeah.
That knows my mother.
Calhoun City.
I better be on my P's and Q's. All right, tell me who we are.
Finney Coster Moore.
Yes, ma'am. And
Tay Coster Morgan.
okay, now tell me, ladies, where we're from.
Jackson.
And
Madison.
okay, y'all flew out of Jackson today, right?
On the Southwest, straight flight that was 100% Ole Miss.
So
and
much
we
fun.
did the hottie tottie and
Yeah.
they were the cutest. It was so fun.
I think that's the one that Austin Barber got together. I think Southwest there.
Oh, that was
got
awesome
together.
that they did that.
It was fun. It was
So
good.
tell me, what do y'all think about the game tomorrow?
We're excited.
Did y'all go to New Orleans?
We did. Tay did.
I'm all in. I was there.
What did
It
you,
was
tell me
awesome.
what you thought about the Sugar Bowl.
It was the most fun game I think we've ever been to.
It's hard to
Do
argue
you
that.
think so?
I mean, I thought about. Were you at 14 Alabama?
Yeah. Oh,
Or
yeah.
13?
No, yes.
Whenever they
Well, that was
overturned the call, the interception.
same thing, but the Superdome being so big and just so loud,
Yeah.
and it was just so Ole Miss. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I've never in my life seen anything like that.
Yeah.
So much fun.
So, what are you anticipating tomorrow in the State Farm Stadium?
Well, I hope it's going to be fun. I hope we're all going to be together, close
Yeah.
by. We don't really know where our tickets are.
Yeah,
I mean, we do, but I think I'm excited.
I would expect everybody to jump by through Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just saw Clay Cabot. He's been over at the stadium. He's back. Said
Yeah.
everything looks great.
This is a really cool event. Ole Miss Alumni Association. They do a really good job.
They do a great job. We've gotten all of our buttons. We've been by there to see all the merch, and
Yeah,
excited.
Horn Legend is here, by the way. If y'all like Horn
Yes.
Legend, I'm a big Horn Legend.
Our friend Camille got a Horn Legend shirt. So
Calhoun City.
it's good. So yeah, this is fun. I love being at the hotel with all the Ole
Yeah.
Miss people.
So tell me who your favorite player is.
Well, it was DeMarcus Lodge, but he's graduated.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Really like the Perkins.
Sunterran
Yes.
Perkins, a defensive end.
Yes. He's cute. I like him.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't really know him, but I just
Right.
like him watching.
He is a very good player. You what about
And then
you?
the Eccles.
He is the best defensive player.
He is so good. He's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I heard he's really nice in real life.
Yeah, he in real life. He does great interviews from Houston, Mississippi. The Mississippi Chronicle. You know, he talks a lot about, you know, staying home, putting on for the state of Mississippi and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So tell me, over the years, did y'all go to Ole Miss?
We did.
Okay, so
Parents, our grandparents. Yeah,
so tell me what makes Ole Miss so awesome to you?
the people.
Yeah.
The people. Like every week when we're in the Grove, we stop and have people stop by. We grab people from opposing teams or whatever, and everybody's just like, this is the nicest, greatest, most fun place. And it is.
Tell me what you remember about growing up in at Ole Miss and going to school at Ole Miss and what makes it so awesome.
Well, my sister Fiddy and I were both rebel recruiters. Hate to brag, under Billy Brewer. So, you had to go and entertain the football players and take all the recruits out. And that's when Wesley Walls was here. And so that was really fun. But yeah, our dad, we've grown up. I mean, we've been coming to games since we could walk. So this is just what we know.
Kind of the same question to you. What makes Ole Miss so special to you?
Well, we were allowed to start coming to games when we were 6. And then with our whole Coster family, like had 20-something seats. So every game since then, from age 6, we've been to, home games and stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, thanks very much for coming by. That New Orleans trip was awesome.
You just can't even talk about
This is going to be fun.
this. Is
And,
gonna be,
y'all watch Ben and I'm sure we appreciate it. Okay.
y'all are very informative. I'm learning a lot from y'all.
Thank
Y'all enjoy it.
Have a good week.
A lot of people here on site watching us here. We've got a lot of guests. We've got a lot of people that have helped make tonight possible. Chick-fil-A on West Jackson Avenue. His team, he being Lance Reed's team, does a phenomenal job. Chad Clardy and Hill Counseling, thank you, Chad, for making all of tonight's events possible, tomorrow's events possible, and, of course, the ball game and our post-game show. Alan Samuels, you heard us talk about him. Alan Samuels, Fracture Dodge Jeep and Ram. DeSoto PC in Hernando, Mississippi, the Hearn Law Firm. Alan Samuels, and, of course, our friend Scott over at the College Corner. Got another special guest, and tell us who you are and what you're doing here today.
Hi, I'm Kiri Lincheski, also known as Kiki Lincheski, and I am the Grove reporter for the Ole Miss Radio Network, but I'm here on behalf of the Logan Video Network, and I'm here to capture content all weekend long. And one of my favorite things about the Grove Report and working with the Ole Miss Radio Network is I get to connect with the fan base, and I get to really see how long the Ole Miss legacy lives on for. And I've learned so much, and people are from all over. So I'm excited to do this here in Arizona, and I'm excited to get to talk. I'm about to go start interviews here at the alumni event, so that'll be really special just to see how far the Rebel fan travels for. So I'm really excited, and I'm so grateful for you and the entire Logan Media Network for this opportunity to be able to broadcast it to you all. So I'm really excited.
Tell me about the Sugar Bowl, and tell me about being able to watch that and watching this Ole Miss program just continue to break ceilings.
I cried at the end of the Sugar Bowl just because I'm so happy for this football team, and I'm entirely happy for head coach Pete Golding and the players. It's been one heck of a season for sure, and they have gone through so much adversity and through the last month, and they continue to just shine and just really show what Ole Miss is and who Ole Miss is, and the grit that we go through as players, as team, as classmates. They're in class, they're student athletes first and foremost, and as a recent graduate in December, it's amazing to see how much Ole Miss football team and the whole entire, whether that's you're in equipment, you're one of the coaches, you're a manager, you work for security, everyone works as a team, and I think that's something so special about Ole Miss for sure.
I know that you sit in the radio booth during home games, and so you've seen some of the best games really that Ole Miss has put out there in a number of years. You kind of look back onto the season. There are a lot of big wins, a lot of special games, Florida, LSU. What are some games that kind of jump out at you this year?
I think in terms of a game that spiked the heart rate for sure was Washington State, just because it was so nerve-wracking for sure. But LSU was special. It was really special for sure. And just to watch the whole team and the whole crowd in Von Hemingway Stadium break out to ABBA, that has just been amazing to see and to capture that footage up from the radio booth, to see Coach Red, to see the student section get into it. Like I said, I am a recent graduate, so a student. It's just been amazing to watch it up in the booth, and we're a family up in that radio booth, and I give credit to Learfield and the Ole Miss Radio Network. It's really been awesome working with them and joining them up there. All the spotters, things you don't realize that happen up in the booth for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And this team is really special. I think I'm going to let you hold this.
Sure.
I think offensively, you look at players like Trinidad Chambliss, Kewan Lacey, huge component of that offense, and now having obviously Charlie Weiss Jr. calling the plays. He'll obviously be heading off to LSU, but for right now, it's a really well-oiled machine.
It is. It is a well-oiled machine for sure. And I think something that's also special is look at Trinidad Chambliss. He's bringing some of that schoolyard play that we used to see with number 18, Archie Manning. And I think that's been amazing and really fun to watch because if you're an Ole Miss fan, whether you're at the alumni event right now, you're a recent graduate, you graduated years ago, Archie Manning is a legend. And I really think that Trinidad Chambliss right now is just etching his name into the history books here, along with Kewan Lacey. He is 3 yards away from the highest rushing yards in a single season in the SEC, I believe it is. I think he's like 3. He's up there for sure. I'd have to double check that. But it really is a historical season, and it's exciting to have all of them come back. That was big too. Kewan coming back, Trinidad hopefully comes. I mean, he's coming back hopefully with the waiver. You know,
Right.
like that's what we're waiting for. So it's exciting to see that for sure.
Defensively, I'm good.
Okay.
Defensively, Will Eccles to me is the best defensive player. We talked with some fans a moment ago. They love Suntarine Perkins, and you look at Andrew Jones, a linebacker, that's really come on. Cam Franklin, who has really stood out for you defensively for Ole Miss?
I think Suntarine Perkins, truthfully, I mean, I think that's the one that you see almost in every play. But I do agree with you on Will Eccles. He's always good when he's up in the mic. And like I said, I see it from like a media side of view, media personality there. And they're all great and they're all hard workers. And I feel like you'll hear head coach Pete Golding talk right now. And he said, it's all about the players and just the team that we put together. And I think seeing them all work hard as a team, it's hard to name just one. It really is. It's hard to name one defensive player that's standing out right now.
One player that has really stood out to me, leading tackler TJ Dotter. And we asked TJ, also asked Will Eccles earlier this week, Pete Golding being in the booth for all those years, and now he's on the field. We asked him what it was like having that coordinator from the booth on the field, and they call him PG. And they said they really like it because he can kind of they gave an example, or one third down, they had a timeout, and he was able to get in their face and, really communicate a lot better. Obviously, TJ's got the earpiece that he's talking to Brian Brown.
Right.
As you know, new news today, there's a new defensive coordinator coming for next year. That news, we'll get in that in a moment. But TJ Daugherty talked about having Pete Golding on the field and that sort of thing. It feels like there's a camaraderie with this team. I don't know. Does that kind of bleed over to you a little bit?
I think it bleeds over to the entire fan base, truthfully. And I think one thing that is really cool about it is there was an interview that Pete Golding did, and he said, the entire week of practice, I'm on the field, and then for the game, I'm up there. And he goes, so it doesn't feel much different. I just feel like I'm down on the field. But it feels different. That first roar that Vaught Hemingway Stadium gave him when he was announced as head coach for the Tulane game, it was just electric. You could just feel the energy in the air for sure. It was really good. It definitely does bleed over to me for sure.
There's an interview that everybody will hear that I had with Wyatt Williams. And coming from a small college like me at Delta State, Wyatt started his career at Delta State, then went off to Monroe, and then, of course, would land at Ole Miss. Good stories all across that defense. And it's just really cool to see kind of that family atmosphere. And the way the defense, to me, I don't know about you, but the way that they finished the end of the game by holding Georgia to only 3, the tie game, obviously the way they used their timeouts, I thought Brian Brown answered it really well about asking about bending but not breaking.
Right.
That was a perfect example. They gave up 34 points, but they made the stops when they had to.
Exactly. When they had to, when it mattered most, they survived and they advanced. And look at them now. We're here in Phoenix.
Yeah. Couldn't get away without talking about special teams.
Oh, what a game. What a game.
From kickoffs to punting, Oscar Bird was great.
Right.
Oscar Bird's coming back next year.
I was just going to say to have both of them back.
Lucas Carnero's coming back next year. And really, as you saw, that 65 or 55-yard kick would have been good from 65.
And he broke his own record. He broke his own
just a little bit of time.
Just a little bit of time. And then to see the special teams get some love from the Ole Miss socials account and having them do the uniform announcement and what combo they were
Outside
wearing
the airport.
outside the airport. It was really cool.
Yeah, we talked to Gary Darby. The days run together, but it was last night in Mississippi. I did a radio show on 107.9 WFCA, and we interviewed Gary, who, as you know well, on the radio network. He's back home. He'll be doing the pre and post game show from the pavilion. Which, by the way, I'm glad I thought about that. If you're at home and you're watching us, and you want somebody to watch the game, to watch the Rebels win tomorrow, go to the pavilion, and you can there and have a big watch party. Gary Darby will be doing the pre-game show and the post-game show on Learfield. You can catch that on the Ole Miss Radio Network all across affiliates. And if you don't have the Varsity app on your phone, go ahead and download it. I listen to the Varsity app during every game. So I listen to Gary and Harry and Brad and G-Dog, all of them, and John.
Trying to figure out what channel it's on so they can see the reviews.
So much. Just download the Varsity app. It's owned by Learfield, and you can get the live stream. It's a little bit delayed, but for me, I love it because I see what happens. I kind of think about it, and then I hear what David says. So it works out perfect.
And then it's also
for me.
usually faster sometimes on the TV. I know I was listening to it at the Sugar Bowl, and I was watching it on TV as well, and I was having all three of them there, and I was just like, well, it's about timed up with the game. It's as live as you can get.
But I want you and everyone back home to listen to these numbers. Lucas Carnero, 55 of 55 on point after attempts, 27 of 30 place kicking. It's 90%. And, of course, he has the long of, how far was it? 55, 57? So I don't even know. It's so far. It would have went even further. So we've got to – I apologize to everybody. I've been here interviewing Kieran here, and we have I've missed the comments. We'll see what anybody says. And we'll get to those in just a little bit. But, yeah, special teams are always going to be a component of the game. I know you've had a chance to look a little bit about Miami. Their defense is really good. And what do you think about the Hurricanes? I mean, obviously beating Ohio State the other day.
Right, and we have Carson Beck, who is an absolute unit of a quarterback, a former SEC quarterback. So he knows the level of play. And I think that will be really interesting to see as he comes in, as right from the first snap. I think it'll be really interesting to see what a former SEC quarterback can bring to this semifinal.
Carson Beck, a player that we saw before. And Ole Miss played and beat Carson Beck for Georgia a couple of years ago. By the way, Carson Beck's numbers real quick. 296 for 388. He's got 3,313 yards through the air. And has been really good. Has thrown some interceptions, 27 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's one thing about Trinidad Chandler that we talked about. Knock on wood, he's not turned it over very much.
No, knock on wood.
He's been really good. Running the football, Fletcher is their main running back along with Brown at 415. So Miami, from what I've seen, I went back and watched the Ohio State game. What really surprised me is they out-physicaled Ohio State. That's not a common occurrence, I don't think.
No, not at all. And one thing I will say for the Ole Miss team, we're a very physical team. And like I said, I mentioned earlier, there's grit, and there is grit in this team. And they have a message. And if they have a message, they will be here to prove it, and they will be here to show it. And I really think that the Ole Miss football team, they're going to come out of the gate and tap. And I'm excited. I'm looking for it.
When Beck goes the air, they've got a guy by the name of, they call him Baby Jesus.
Right.
He's a really good wide receiver. Last name, his first name, I think it's Michael, maybe. His last name is Tony, Malachi Tony. The receptions, he's got 94 receptions for 1,008 yards. The closest receiver, 49 receptions for 626. He's also got 8 touchdowns. That's going to be a big deal for Ole Miss. You put Antonio Kite on him. You make sure your safety's over the top to make sure he doesn't beat you deep. He can go really, really quick. You know, I talked with William Eccles and asked him, what do you want to do with Beck? So you remember Beck 2 years ago ran a lot more. He's not running a lot this year. And they talked about they want to keep him in the pocket and try to sack him there. What do you think Ole Miss needs to do with Beck at quarterback?
I mean, that's a really good question, right? I think some of the parts of the Ole Miss team are obviously still figuring that out, and they'll figure it out tomorrow as well in their game. I think they are going to try and keep him in the pocket. And I think Ole Miss is going to have to be able to hold that. I think they're going to be able to, they're going to need to, really, for lack of a better word. There cannot be much movement, really.
There are two defensive ends, as you know, that are NFL caliber. And so Ole Miss is going to have to account for them. Diego Pounds and Jaden Williams are going to have the biggest challenge they've had all year. The good thing is Patrick Kudas, John Garrison, the coach, offensive line coach, they have completely transformed that offensive line since the beginning of the year. If you remember, Patrick Kudas did not play particularly well at the beginning of the year. He didn't practice a ton, but he's completely turned it around. That offensive line has been really good.
It has been really good. It is, and I think that's one of the strong parts of the team for sure. And I think all of it, when we work together and everyone as a team communicates and they remember what they're playing for and they remember why, and they just keep on pushing it. And I think that's what they're exceeding. I think everybody's
pulling the same
expectations.
road.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Is like it's kind of a well-oiled machine. Everybody's kind of worked together. We heard from Pete Goldie earlier today, and one of the reporters asked him. They kind of went down the lane kicking route. I thought it was interesting. Pete wasn't having it today, and basically saying that it really doesn't matter who runs the team out of the tunnel. This team is ready to compete, and they're doing it right now. I know you have seen a lot of Ole Miss fans. We're here at the Ole Miss Alumni Association Hotel. What's been the overarching comments to you from these Ole Miss fans?
They love that the coach wants to coach. And they love that head coach Pete Golding has had chances to make it about himself, but he's made it all about the players. And they love that they can see that the camaraderie that we talked about before, they can see the camaraderie between the teams, and the players love coaching for Pete. And that's what's been really special to see is it almost seems like a little kid team because they just look like they're having so much fun out there and they're all doing it together. And that's what is really important. And that's what all these fans that you'll see behind us, that's what they're saying is that we couldn't be happier for the team, for players. What a story with Trinidad Chambliss. And obviously always in memory of Corey Adams, which this team has definitely done and continue to do. And that's what's been really special.
It was interesting. Brian Brown yesterday made mention of that. And I thought it was pretty fascinating. He said, we had nothing to do with Will Eccles. If you remember on the stage, he specifically called out Corey Adams' family.
Corey Adams.
And, the mom was there. Corey's mom was.
How special.
And, it really was. And we would learn, too, that Brian Brown would say they give a C4 award every single week to the top defensive player. That just goes to show you this team is playing with a lot of emotion, more emotion than I think I was giving them credit for with the loss of Corey Adams, who, from all I was trying to hear, was a great, great teammate.
Same here. I heard nothing but great things, and my thoughts go out to the entire family and the Ole Miss fan base and the Ole Miss players and coaching staff. And it's really special. There's just something special in the air. Like you said, doing it with a lot of emotion. That's a great way to say it.
Well, we'll have more with you later on tonight and, of course, all day tomorrow and all of your content. You can follow us on the Logan Media Network. That's at Brad Logan, COTE, and follow Kieran as well at KEIRANL _media. That's Kieran Lachesky. That's it, right? Kieran Lachesky.
Yep.
Does a great job. And what have you, before we get you out, I've got one more thing. What have you learned from just listening to David Kellum, listen to Harry, listen to all of the guys that cover Ole Miss and just being in the booth with them? What all have you learned?
Oh my gosh, this podcast could go, or this live could go on for hours and hours of everything I've learned. But they are just amazing at what they do, and I really call DK the godfather of SEC radio, and he really is. He has such talent, and it's his natural voice and the passion that comes along with it. You have to stay consistent in your voice. You have to get as many reps in as possible, but you got to love what you do, and every single one of them absolutely loves what they do. And I think that's what I've learned most is that you need to have your passion. You also need to be able to work hard. It's a lot of early mornings and late nights and lots of charts that you're filling out, but just being versatile and just really loving what you do, and that's what we'll get with tomorrow.
We'll get your predictions tomorrow, but kind of tonight, the night before the game, kind of where are you at with the game? Where are you at with Ole Miss Miami? Kind of what are your thoughts?
I'm still percolating on all of those, right? And I was actually, before I came here, I was working on some pregame things, and and I was just getting to the stat page, and I think it's going to be obviously a competitive matchup. We're in the college football playoff semifinal, the Fiesta Bowl.
But I feel like walking into a game, the mentality is really what you need to set you apart, right? And like I said, I mentioned grit, and I know I keep saying that word is near and dear to my heart. But I think Trinidad Chambliss, Keywan Lacey, what a year the two of them have had together. And I really think that the mentality that Ole Miss is walking in with, in that there is more to this, and just the opportunity to play. And we are here to show who the Ole Miss Rebels are. The entire fan base. I mean, if you look on Southwest Air today, which is the official airlines of the SEC, I mean, you just have Rebel fans flying in from all over the country. And I think that's what shows. And I mean, even head coach of Georgia, Kirby Smart, he said it felt like an away game when they played down there in New Orleans. And I think that's what's really special about the Ole Miss fan base. So I feel like the fan base is really going to help the Rebels with their momentum and just the energy, and give some of the energy. But the Rebels are not done yet. They are not done yet. So I feel it's going to be a competitive matchup, to answer your question. Like I said, I'm still percolating on all of it, but competitive, hard fought, well earned.
Sir. What would this victory tomorrow, and not even winning a national championship, being able to play for national, what would that mean for this program?
For this program, I mean, it'll show everybody that Ole Miss is legitimate, and they're hardworking, and does not matter what happens, what adversity, what the highs and lows that you may face throughout the season. It will really show the rest of the country, the rest of SEC, the rest of the College Football Playoff Committee. It will show them that they are hard workers, and they will work for what they want, and that it's great for the program. It's a growing program, and like I said, they've been through so much in the last month and a half that it'll really show that who's at the helm right now is leading the Rebels in a strong way, and it's all about them as a family as opposed to anything else. And I think that's the most important.
Kieran Lechitsky, did I get it right?
Thank you.
Did I get it right?
You did.
All right, I got it right. Well, I appreciate it. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage for the Logan Media Network, and here, of course, on the Ben and Brad show. Ben is now in the air, so he will be landing at some point around, I think, 10 or 11. So we'll have full coverage for you from the Ole Miss Alumni Association. That will begin tomorrow from 2 until 4:30. We'll probably go the full time. We've got a full docket of folks that are supposed to be coming with us as we find that shot here. The pregame party will be at the Heritage, and that's at the Sportsman Park. Go to OleMissAlumni.com and see if there are any open tickets. Right now, earlier it was sold out, but I think there may be some open tickets. So go by and check that out. And please, even if they're not, we'll try to have an opportunity for you to come by and say hello and hopefully visit with us. Take it for a second. I'm going to walk over here and tell us a little bit about the whole world of where the college football playoff is, kind of preview, if you don't mind, preview that Oregon and Indiana game. I'm going to go see if I can catch this interview.
Okay, sounds good. He's going to go catch us an interview, so we are live, which I always love answering some questions too. Like I said, my role as the Grove reporter is really to learn about the fan base and all the viewers that are watching. And so if you have any questions, I'd love to, absolutely would love to answer them. But it is an energetic day here in Phoenix for sure. Coming off of a 23-hour travel day with a time change for sure. Trying to grab my phone from the unit for sure. Let's look at some questions. I'm gonna pull up the pregame. You see this? I have all my content being filmed on here. You can see that on Twitter, on X. Whoop, sorry. Go.
So setting things up, by the way, tomorrow kickoff is at 5:30 Mountain and 6:30 Central. You catch it on ESPN. By the way, Herb Street, Fowler, Holly Rowe and Laura Rutledge will be the two reporters, and that will happen tomorrow at 6:30. And then, of course, the game following, as we talked about a moment ago, Indiana and Oregon. I want to ask you real quick while we've got you here. Kirk Signetti comes over, has done a phenomenal job of – I mean, Indiana was not a program that was historically a winning program.
Right.
But he has really just transformed the program.
Right.
It's been fascinating to watch.
It has been very fascinating to watch. And you have Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza. And what a class act that guy is. He is just, I mean, I think something that I really, you knew the personality was the next day after he won the Heisman, he put it on his LinkedIn account. And I think that's what's really good. And it was his speech when he accepted his Heisman. He started talking to his grandparents in Spanish. And it's just the way that head coach has turned this program around. You can see it. And it all starts from who's at the top. And then you have Fernando. And then obviously his brother was there too. So
yeah,
very likewise people, but they really have transformed the program, and that's good for college football, which is, there's something to take note from there.
Indiana's been really good and just totally dominating the competition. Roman Hemby is someone that has done really well for Indiana. 184 carries for over 1,007 yards and 7 touchdowns. So definitely been a lot of fun to watch. Undefeated, of course, 14-0. Then you look at Oregon, and I'll be honest, I mean, what's not to like? What's not to appreciate with how well Oregon has played this year? Moore, the quarterback, 3,280 yards, 28 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions. It also, to me, is a well-oiled machine, the Oregon Ducks, and the way that they have played this year. So Oregon and Indiana in the winter will play in Miami for the national championship, and the winner will get obviously the winner of Ole Miss and Miami. Looking at this Ole Miss Miami game once again, I don't know if Ole Miss could have gotten a better path. The way that could not have received a better path to the college football championship.
No, I mean, I agree, but at this point in college football playoff semifinals, there's no easy game, not one bit. And I'm excited to see both teams. Fiesta Bowl, Peach Bowl. It's going to be good. I mean, I know the atmosphere right now is electric in here with Rebel fans, and I can only imagine likewise. However, it's a little dreary here. So the Hurricanes must have brought the weather with them because it's raining in Arizona.
Yeah,
so
Grandpa Ben is in the air. So we talked to him at the beginning of the show. We'll podcast this one. We'll load this, and you can go back and you can listen to Ben. And they're boarding. Okay, Mr. Whiteside, they're boarding, and the plane hasn't took off yet. Okay, so they're boarding. And so everybody on the plane, we wish you a safe flight getting here. I know there were a ton of people coming out of Memphis. And turn up the volume, okay? We'll try to hit that volume a little bit. This is a good question. Prediction on Ole Miss fans versus Cane fans with stadium capacity. The capacity at State Farm Stadium, I think, is in the middle 60s. 65-ish.
I'll double check that.
So I think it's around 65. To answer your question, would not surprise me if Ole Miss had 30,000, 25 or 30,000. So I would expect, I don't know how well Miami travels.
Seating capacity of about 63,000.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So I think Ole Miss is going to be in that 30,000 range.
I would agree, 35,000. There's a lot of fans, and
there are a lot of people that are driving.
This is true.
Jake Thompson of the Ole Miss Spirit, he drove. And so he got here. I don't know, 2 days.
Too long.
It took. It was what 3:15 on a plane, so it was a little bit. But yeah, we appreciate everybody jumping on. We've had so many people that have jumped in to talk with us. I could not do what we do without all of our sponsors. I want to run through those real quick. They help make all of this possible. They help get me and Ben and Garrett and everybody to Phoenix, Arizona for the big game between Ole Miss and Miami coming up tomorrow at 6:30 Central, 5:30 here in the mountains. Mountain time zone it is. Built Different Fitness couldn't do what we do without our friends at Built Different Fitness out in West Jackson Avenue. Go by and see them today. Advanced Payment Solutions and Blake Jones and Jones Merchant Services. Thanks, Blake, and everything that he does. Lance and his team at Chick-fil-A in West Jackson Avenue and in Northeast Oxford, thank you. Chad Clardy and Hill Counseling, we appreciate everything Chad does. Senator Ben Suber, the College Corner Store, both in Oxford and Ridgeland. Be sure and see that Oxford location out on Sisk Avenue right past Chick-fil-A. Alan Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. DeSoto PC out in Hernando. Thank you guys so much for being part of the coverage. And the Hearn Law Firm. And also a special thank you to T. Whites and Tyler White, our presenting sponsor on the Logan Media Network. Any closing thoughts before we go enjoy this party?
Spot the ball. Body toddy.
Yeah, that's what Pete's been pretty adamant about.
Yeah.
And I encourage all of you, if you get a chance, just go to the Ole Miss Spirit, and it's archived there. Listen to that Pete Golding press conference, because he was very adamant that this team is ready. There's sure, there may be some nervousness, but there's nobody that's afraid of anybody.
I'm
This
sure
team
there's
is-
nervousness.
Yeah,
I'm
but this team is
nervous.
dialed in.
They are dialed. They're locked in, for lack of a better word, as they say nowadays. They are, and I was at the team hotel yesterday. Everyone looked excited to be there, but they looked focused. They all looked focused. It wasn't too high, too low. It was just they've got work to do.
Stay locked in to the Ole Miss Spirit. That's omspirit.com. That's an affiliate of On3 Sports. Wall-to-wall coverage of this Fiesta Bowl here in Scottsdale/Glendale, Arizona. Full coverage for you at the Ole Miss Spirit, omspirit.com. Thank you all for chiming in. Thank you to all of our sponsors. For Kieran and Brad, we'll have all this for you covered wall-to-wall of the Ole Miss Spirit. And, of course, tomorrow, a wall-to-wall day as well, with our pregame show starting at 2 o'clock Mountain, 3 o'clock Central. We've got a stacked show, 2.5 hours. Then we'll have the game, and then we'll have a huge postgame show. But listen to this. I just learned this. Our good friend Sudu, who joins our show,
Right.
he's going to have a watch-along. So we're going to open the channel up at 2 o'clock. It's going to go all the way through our pregame show. Then they're going to take you up to the game. It's going to be
That's
all during the game. We'll chime in at halftime. And then Ben and I and all of you thought about, as Brian from Alan Samuels is streaming us right now on the big screen in Oxford.
Oh,
And so he
hello,
just,
Oxford.
hello, Oxford. But he just sent me a text and said, by the way, we really do watch on the big screen.
We love it. Thank you.
So we will have coverage during the game. You'll be joined by Sudu. We'll come in at halftime. At the end of the game for the postgame show, we'll join you, and then we'll recap the game. And then on the Logan Media Network, Kieran and I will have postgame recap. We'll also have pregame recap on the Believe in Ole Miss podcast. We've got it all over the place, and we're grateful for you. And that's what I told people. People said, what is your objective? What's your goal? To me, my goal is for getting texts like that.
Yep.
For whatever reason, a lot of people can't be here, whether it be maybe it's a tough time of the week, it's a little too expensive, you're not feeling well, maybe you've got a death in the family, maybe you've got insert issue here. What my goal is to be able to bring all of this back home to them. And that's kind of what our goal is. That's why I wanted to come here. And it's just really cool to be a part of that. And I know Q and I kind of see the same thing on that.
No, absolutely. It is really cool to be a part of it. And I see things from the journalistic point of view. And I believe everyone has a story, right? And like whether that is that they're here or they're not. And I'm so blessed to be able to be here in this moment and to capture it all and bring it all back to our friends that are listening. It's really cool and fun.
That's it.
Hope you can feel the energy.
Man, it's awesome. Thanks, everybody, for jumping on today. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay locked into the Ole Miss Spirit. That's omspirit.com, and we appreciate you joining us here on the Brad and Ben Show. That was fun.